Hello everyone, how are we all? I thought I'd just make use of this lighting and do a little get to know your artist video for me, Jonnie Wallace music. So, I've got some notes here and I'm just going to get right into it. No edits, no cuts. God help me, right? Okay. So, my musical journey, I started playing drums when I was 11. When I went into high school, I used to want to be a nursery teacher and didn't work out. As soon as I got behind the drum kit, that all changed, and I fell in love with music in every aspect. So, the first project I was ever in was a little three-piece, just bedroom stuff, pretty much covering Queens of the Stone Age, and that was a good introduction for getting into playing with other people. I really enjoyed that, but we never really took it serious. And then I joined Ayakara, which was my first proper band when I was 15, almost 16. We did a lot the first time that I got on stage with Ayakara, which was at Cavall on the 19th of December 2013, I believe. As soon as I got on that stage, I knew that's what I wanted to do. All my friends were there, all our friends were there. It was a fantastic feeling. And I knew that that was the feeling that I wanted to chase. As a career, it was the thing that made me really happy. And I'd found something that night. And the boys in Ayakara were just fantastic. We got along really well as friends and we were very connected musically. So I had a really good time in Ayakara. It gave me a lot of knowledge how to work with other musicians, how to songwrite, and also on the admin side, how to get gigs, how to promote yourself, how to get publicity. Then when Ayakara ended, after a 5-year run, I joined Felix and the Sunsets. Felix was the guitarist from Ayakara. Myself, him, and his brother, Lucas. We went for a year. I think we recorded a lot of songs. Felix has a very strong work ethos. He's a very productive person. Lucas and I decided that our time with the band was over after a year. He is still going strong with new members and still pushing out new music, which is great to see. And after Felix and the Sunsets, I joined Vandal Palace. I was only with them for a short time. They were already an established band. I had a really short but sweet time with them. I think we went for about 6 months, played the Mash House as our first gig supporting Fabric Bear, and then the day after up to Aberdeen to support Pages. And we played in Glasgow, Edinburgh, and we released 2 tunes recorded with Chris Marshall. So that was a fun, productive time that we spent. A really fast-paced 6 months, but I really enjoyed myself. What's next? My solo stuff. Why I'm here right now. This started after Ayakara after Ayakara ended. I was kind of on and off with Felix and the Sunsets. I wasn't a firm member, but I was working with Felix and Lucas. But I'd also started my solo stuff. I'd been writing tunes close to the end of Ayakara, but I never really had a platform to release them. So I thought that starting my own solo project would be a good way to get my music out there and my songwriting and songs that meant a lot to me. So let's go through the discography real quick. Well, actually, before the discography, we'll talk about my first ever gig, which was on the 6th of July, 2018. And it was at Leith Depot supporting Colour Carnival, my brother's band at the time. It was just me and my guitar then. I didn't have my band. I was extremely nervous because I'd never, apart from pub gigs and stuff, I'd never played in front of a crowd with a guitar, my own music. It was really, really nerve-wracking, but I had a great time. All my friends showed up to support me, which was fantastic. And then I started getting a band together. For a long time, I didn't really know where I was situated in terms of a solo artist. Some gigs I was doing just me and my guitar, other gigs I was doing with my band. And I was getting confused, and I knew that a potential audience would also be confused. You know, is he fronting a band? Is he a solo artist? Just acoustic guitar? So I decided after a couple of acoustic guitar gigs that I was gigging with a band only from that point on, which I think was a good decision, because my songwriting started being geared more towards that, with that in mind. So the first band I had was Adam Fortune Smith on guitar. I went to uni with him. He's a really good friend of mine. Dave Reed on bass, who had just left Nazari at that point, and Magnus Kramers on drums, who was playing for Ill Fitting Thoughts at the time. All fantastic musicians and good friends of mine, who I still see, still speak to, still work with. Then I went through a little bit of a lineup change, and Magnus remained on drums, and his guitarist Connell Mooney, who also played with Magnus for Ill Fitting Thoughts. They've been in a bunch of projects together. They also play with Gus Harrower. They formed they're really tight. They've got the musical chemistry already, which was great to see. And then Lucas from Felix and the Sunsets, he came over and joined on bass, and they bring a lot of good ideas to my songs, and they bring their own taste, their own flavour to them, which is really nice to have them in the practice room with me, and live they never disappoint, of course. So let's talk about the tunes, shall we? So, first tune I released was Cherry Baby, and that was August 2018. Seems like a long time ago. I recorded it with Alan Moffat in Leith Recording Studios. R.I.P. Drum Property. Bastards. Everyone moved out of the business block on Leith Walk because Drum Property wanted to tear it down and build student housing. So unfortunately, Leith Recording Studio is no more, but I've worked with Alan Moffat for Cherry. It's a song about a party that I went to. Obviously, all lines are not Bible, Testament. All lines are not completely true. Sometimes you just have to put some filler in there. So it was about a party I went to, and it's just it was a big one. It was my friend Oscar had a series of parties, and they were just every time they were just so good. So I wrote a song about one of them, and then following that single release, I brought out an EP later that month, so late August 2018, called It Took Some Time. And that consisted of Cherry Baby, of course, But If I've Got You, Take Me Home, and One Cigarette. But If I've Got You, there's a live video on this channel of me playing that. I explain what it's about at the end. You know, if you've got someone that loves you and you love them, nothing matters. Those are the exact words I use. Take Me Home is about two people on a night out, but they're not happy. The guy's got other ideas. He's looking, he's seeing another girl that he likes. And he's like, oh, you can take me home if you want to. Yeah, give it a listen. And One Cigarette is about a guy who's fixated with a girl, and the song is written from three different points of view. I don't think anyone really picked up on that. Maybe I was just thinking I was smarter than I was. So the first verse, She's Only Got One Cigarette, is from the writer's point of view, or my point of view. The second verse, She's Only Got One Cigarette, is from another man's point of view, maybe the antagonist, if you want to call him that. And then the third verse is from her point of view. So if you listen to it, that might give you a little bit more of an understanding of where I was coming from with it. Next was November 2018 when I released Jane, the demo. Jane, the demo. I did that with my good friend Jordan Ferguson from high school. He's a fantastic musician. We recorded a bedroom demo. He did some percussion on it. It was fantastic. That is about my friend Jane, who lives in Germany. And when she used to move away and come back a lot, hence the line, I don't even know my own lines. When I start to think about how much I miss you, you show up right on cue. That's a nod to her always going away and coming back, going away, coming back. Who I still speak to her as well. Not as much as I would like. Then there was a big break. There was a lull in songwriting. I got wrapped up in life. Just things were happening, work stuff, other commitments. I think this was when Felix and the Sunsets was getting a little bit more serious, so I was focusing a lot on that. So I had a big break at the start of 2019, but then in March I brought out You, which is a song that was very personal to me, very dear to me. It described everything I was thinking at the time, everything I was going through. So again, I don't have to sit here and tell you about it. You can listen to it. Then really quickly afterwards, Keep Me Warm came out in June 2019. Same thing. It was just about what I was thinking, what I was feeling at the time. It was a good cathartic way to get my feelings and my thoughts down into something tangible that I was comfortable releasing into the world. And then a month later, yes, I remember. I should note, You and Keep Me Warm was recorded with Cam Hunter from North Atlas. Fantastic producer, really good guy. We click really well in the studio together. He knows what I want, and he's not afraid to put his ideas across. So the songs and the way they come out, a lot of it is due to him. A lot of credit goes to him. July 2019, I released my acoustic collection, which is 4 covers, made up of Can't Help Falling in Love, Still Into You, The Only Ones Who Know, and You Only Live Once. Underrated Strokes song, You Only Live Once. I recorded this with Joey Grostern in the Broughton Street flat. A bunch of my friends had a flat on Broughton Street, and me and my 2 very good friends were going to France for a month, and I thought, my listeners, my fans need something to tide them over until I get back and I can release some new material. So we did a bedroom recording of just 4 acoustic covers, and I think they came out really well. Joey really worked with very little to make them sound as good as he did. Then the big one, Aftershave. October 2019, Aftershave came out. Now this was when I decided to stop being a wee sad boy and start writing tunes about having a good time. So Aftershave is about a night out. Aftershave is not the only thing he's wearing around his neck. It's Friday night, there's a lot of bad decisions to be made. The chorus, when I feel you need taken home, I'll be there. It's about a mate who's always there getting you home when you're drunk, looking after you. And it details the night and the morning after. Glass of Wine was released December 2019, a couple of months later. That's a song about going out and getting your mates always saying like, oh, come out to this club, and I don't like clubs. I like chilling. I was sitting pretty happy with my glass of wine. Whoa, you know I don't really like the clubs. Yeah, I don't really like the clubs. That's about your mates hassling you to go out, and then you just get too drunk, as per usual. Then there was a big break because I had to go back through to Glasgow. Those two tunes were also recorded with Cam. So I went back through to Glasgow and recorded the rest of the EP Cupid Stunts, which came out in April 2020, or this year at the time of recording. And this was my proudest moment of work. I did a full version of Jane, a full instrumentation. I think it lifted it a lot. And I did Gold, which is about, being steaming. This whole EP is surrounded by being steaming and going out. And that's what I wanted to gear my writing towards. I wanted to gear my writing towards having fun, more positive stuff. Happy tunes is what I was kind of gearing myself towards when I had this EP in mind. And that is my entire discography. Obviously, on YouTube, I do a lot of covers because I am a pub singer by trade. I do it a lot. It's a good way to keep me practiced and keep me on my toes and keep myself improving with my playing and my singing. So there's a lot of covers on this channel which you should check out for sure. And in terms of the recording, I play everything on the recordings. I do the drums, the bass, the guitar, the vocals, electric guitar if it's needed. I did piano on One Cigarette. Yeah, that was a little moment of madness, I must say. But I feel that I like having total creative control. Don't get me wrong, I love songwriting with other people, with the members of my band and my friends. I love songwriting with them. But I feel that when I'm in the studio, when I'm working on my own, I can really just zone in. I can zone in and do what I need to do, what I want. I can hear it in my head. And I sometimes find that difficult to portray to other musicians. So that's why I prefer to do it all on my own. So that's a little get to know your artist. I didn't really talk about me. I just talked about my whole discography and my musical journey. My favourite colour is pink. My favourite band is the Stone Roses, of course. They were the first band that I listened to, and it totally changed my life. Really for the better. Their debut album is just absolutely perfect. And I draw a lot of my influences from. Now, Cam made me notice this actually. He says he hears a lot of My Chemical Romance in my songwriting style. And I never really noticed it until he said it. I did and still do listen to quite a lot of My Chemical Romance. I think they're a really good band. I think The Black Parade is one of the best pop punk albums I've ever heard. But Blink-182 is on the scene, so they have a lot of stuff going for them. Yeah, they have fantastic albums all over the shop. Yeah, I kind of just tried to carve out my own style when I started songwriting. I didn't really have any main influences in mind when I was writing. But some of those bands that I just mentioned, obviously the bands you listen to shape your songwriting style. So those are some of my influences. I will leave a link to my Facebook, my Spotify, and my Instagram down below. Please share this video. It would go a long way. And I hope that you've gained some insight into my discography, why I decided to pursue music, and I hope you like me. Please like me. You know I like you. If you're watching this video, I definitely like you. And thank you for everyone's continued support along this journey. It's not over, far from it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.